So, being that everybody is assuming that the reason I was allegedly thrown out of Lenape Valley was because I allegedly hit on my therapist. Now, to be honest, no, I didn't. My therapist actually did have some odd behavior since the time we met. First of all, she would, blush and act like an idiot, which is, a sign that a girl likes you. But more than that, she seemed for many months, for the majority of the months, to try to isolate me from any other women. And then out of nowhere, she seemed to automatically say, well, you need to start dating people. Okay, now the reason why this is odd is because I had thought that she liked me. Now, I worked at Pendel Mental Health, and I'm aware in the field of mental health, a lot of female providers of care sleep with their clients. It's a common thing in the field. Okay, it's just common. It's actually more common, from what I know, that females sleep with their clients, from my friends in the field that have done it, than it is men. And I think one of the main reasons is men usually aren't interested in the kind of women that come into a mental health clinic. Okay, they're just, because they're pretty rough looking. But more importantly, I did not ask her out while I was in session with her. Well, I did, when I was in session with her, but not while I was. What I had explained to her is, I had stated, you're not going to work for Lenape Valley forever. Maybe in the future, we could go out. So even at the point of discharge, I was not asking her out right then and there. I was asking her out so there wouldn't be any ethical violations or anything like that. I mean, technically there would be, but nobody would know because it would be years later, potentially, etc. So these idiots that are saying these things do not understand the situation. And furthermore, I never acted sexually inappropriate with her. She never acted sexually inappropriate with me. There was some odd things about, like, trying to isolate me from, like, literally every other woman. It did seem like she was jealous of the nurse that I was interested in. She was also it seemed like she was very jealous of my ex-girlfriend. She used the excuse of codependency. In retrospect, though, now that I'm putting everything together, it seems like the reason she wanted to get me away from my ex-girlfriend wasn't necessarily because of a codependency thing, like she was explaining that it was trauma bonding and this sort of thing. It was more so I didn't have an alibi. And the reason I say that is because this Chris Thompson guy calls and tries to make the excuse that I threatened lethal violence against him, but if my ex-girlfriend wasn't there, I wouldn't have had the alibi. So prior to that, my ex-girlfriend was a witness of the fact that Lenape Valley Foundation refused me my heart medication and dosed me full of tranquilizers against my cardiologist's wishes. And the reason my ex-girlfriend was a witness of that is because she had to physically go to my cardiologist's office and have them contact Lenape Valley and explain, yeah, he kind of needs his heart medication. So that's, in retrospect, I think maybe she did like me. I think maybe she did find me attractive. But I don't think that's the reason. I think the reason why was to get rid of my alibi and get rid of my witness so that they could do whatever they wanted. Okay, I think she was working for Lenape Valley all along, in the sense that she was trying to work with Lenape Valley, who originally ignored that I was being harassed and threatened online. And then on top of ignoring it, when I sought help at the crisis unit, they tried to 302 me for persecutory delusions and denied the reality of the harassment, despite me telling them about it for roughly half a decade. So this is my discharge summary, okay? Now, this is an important, what the reason for discharge, I rejected further services. I was not thrown out of Lenape Valley. I rejected their services because of their behavior, okay? That's why I left Lenape Valley. I was not thrown out. I rejected their services due to their unethical and potentially illegal behavior, and the fact that they obviously had issues with me as a heterosexual white man. Okay, but as you see there, the reason for discharge was that I had rejected further services. Okay, so that's what you need to understand. Recommended procedures, there's nothing, okay, because I didn't want anything, okay, so that's the reason why, because I could not trust this organization. Want further proof? So this is an email that was returned to me by the director, the executive director of Lenape Valley. This is before I started thinking that there was some kind of communication between the stalkers online and and Lenape Valley, who are essentially just stalkers. Okay, they're stalking me online. That's why my online behavior bothers them, is because they're paying too much attention to my online behavior. So I'm explaining this, blah, blah, blah. So Sharon says that she appreciates me reaching out to her. She has spoken with the executive, Lori Lamont, who supervises the outpatient department where my therapist and her supervisor work, and she has copied Lori on this email. She wants to assure me that there was no malice in the recommendation of the psychiatric evaluation. Oh, but en contraire, I have evidence that there was. So their goal is supposedly to provide me with every opportunity to have comprehensive and successful treatment. No, it wasn't. Their goal was to have me misdiagnosed at the behest of people online. They do not want me to see, they do not want to see me involuntarily committed, allegedly. After they had tried to involuntarily commit me, okay, for the same complaints about stalking, harassing, and threatening online, and they said I had persecutory delusions. Now they deny that. Okay, my response of no, you do not want a psychiatric evaluation is completely within your rights. Okay. This is me assuring her that my case manager will receive a copy of this and that I don't care. Okay, so this is me asking her, seriously, like, I don't know for sure what this was due to, okay, due to conflicting information from Mrs. Beecham, because Mrs. Beecham had stated that it was due to her supervisor Googling me and finding videos about me online. Mrs. Beecham had also stated that there were things online that made me look very badly, and that she would require my emails to prove that I was being harassed. She wanted proof that I was being harassed, okay, which I gave her, which was then later used by Lenape Valley to make it look like they were unaware of the harassment until that moment, which is not factual, as I've shown going through my emails in the past. I have been making Lenape Valley aware of this situation for now over half a decade, and they have either turned a blind eye or stated that I was receiving persecutory. I was delusional, and that it wasn't actually happening. So I want to know why these people cannot give me a straight answer. They did not answer anything in a clear manner. This is Sharon saying, please talk with Kelsey and Allison regarding your specific questions. All discussions were done with the intention of making sure you receive all outpatient services you need. That is not according to Kelsey Beecham. Kelsey Beecham stated on the phone with me and a witness that the reason for these services was because of an online search done by her supervisor, Allison Jenkins, where she found a video that, according to Allison Jenkins, was a video with my face on the video and somebody else talking, and according to Mrs. Beecham, it was a video mentioning the ages of girls. Now, mind you, Mrs. Beecham said there was incriminating looking things online, and she needed the evidence that I was being harassed. okay, which I gave her, which was then used against me. Okay? Now, these people are a clear and present danger to the Bucks County public. None of these people should have the jobs that they have, especially people like Chris Thompson, who tried to swat me. Okay, and if I didn't have a witness, I very easily could have been accidentally killed by the police because he erroneously accused me of making a threat of lethal violence against him, and if I didn't have a witness, he could have called the police, and the police very easily could have accidentally murdered me by mistake based on his false testimony. These people are a clear and present danger to the public. And in another way, when they denied me my heart medication and then gave me psychiatric medication against the wishes of my cardiologist, that's another danger. And even more ridiculous is the way that they are clearly working with people online and following the direction of people online to work to utilize their positions in the mental health field to falsely diagnose people so that they can be ostracized by society. And that's the truth.